family. I'm trying to figure out where to put this at. Let me figure out what to do with this. Figure out what to do with this. All right, so my pepper plants have to be watered. Come on in the room. As they're getting older, I'm having to water them more frequently, as you guys can see. So we'll be doing a lot of watering, twice, 3 times a week, more if needed. Plus the spacing is getting pretty small for them. It'll be time to go outside soon, so be time to go outside soon. Got our ginger plant over there. Look like we got a snail in there. This pepper plant will be popping soon. Time to fertilize in a moment. Yep. We'll be fertilizing it soon. Making sure that our plants are ready, because they will be getting transplanted in February. So it's about that time. Hey family, hey family. Yes, my hair looks crazy. Whew. Hair looks crazy. Nevertheless, I wanted to talk to you guys today and just give you some words of encouragement, right? Because I know there are a lot of people out there who want to grow their own food. They're interested in growing their own food. However, they have trouble growing their own food because they're listening to so many people tell them how to grow their own food. And so this is why I don't give gardening growing tips anymore, because I started understanding that people need to understand that every individual is going to grow differently. No two people are going to grow the same. No two people are in the same environment. You need to understand how to plan. Planning is the key to being successful. And this is why I constantly preach, you got to plan. You have to plan. You cannot avoid planning. Right now, because I plan everything, right, I'm able to grow my own food. If I listen to all these YouTubers tell me how I need to grow, tell me what conditions I need to grow in, I would not be growing my own food indoors, right? So I got on YouTube to encourage people, because people would always come to my house. They would always see all the food. They would always see my garden, and they would always ask me questions, okay? So I'm here to encourage you. You got to understand, what are the 3 things that a seed needs in order to germinate? And what are the 3 things that a plant needs in order to grow? If you understand those 2 principles, you will be a successful grower. If you know that in order for a plant to germinate, it needs water, air, and soil, and that in order for a plant to grow, it needs water, sunlight, and air, you can create the condition for that plant. All right? It's as simple as that. Do not listen to all these people giving you fertilizing advice. because they don't know the type of grower that you want to be. All right. They don't know where you live at. They don't know your current conditions. They're constantly giving you advice. Y'all, I had to open up my hole again. Excuse me. They're constantly giving you advice on how to grow your food, but yet they don't tell you how to plan to grow your food. All right. So when I tell you, you see back here, right? I have some ginger, I have some avocados, I have some pepper plants, I have some rosemary, I have some pear. I propagated some pear plant. I propagated my pear tree, which is back here, and then I have an apple tree back here, and then all the peppers. Now, because I listened to myself, all right, because I read the Bible, because I became a planner, right? All of my plants will be ready to go outside in February. If I listen to all of these YouTubers tell me when to plant my own things, I would start planting probably like in March. All right? No, look at the conditions right now. I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, this is great weather. All right. And he's like, oh, it's so cold. It's cold outside right now. I'm like, no, this is great weather. Why? Because usually in January, it is extremely cold in Georgia since I've lived here the past 8 years, as well as it's usually frost. We have not had that much frost. We might have had like 2-3 frost days or whatever. So I grow according to the plan. All right. So I believe in Jesus Christ. I grow according to the Holy Spirit. All right. So this is why February, these things will be going outside. All right. I have a plan. These things will be going outside. All right. You guys can look at my sugarcane. I just planted sugarcane yesterday. Sugarcane grows. I grow sugarcane from seed. Okay. I put those in. See, if you listen to people, right? This is another perfect example. People tell you that you can't grow potatoes from seed. People tell you that you can't grow sweet potatoes from seed. You can't grow sugar canes from seed. And I'm here to dispel that myth. That is a lie. All right. If you listen to people, okay, you will constantly spend money, ridiculous amounts of money, all right, on starting a garden. Don't listen to these people. Use what you have in order to get started. All right. They do not. You have to get with the community. All right. If you're a beginner, all right, you get with the community. People in your area. Don't listen to these YouTubers. All right. They don't live in your area. All right. They can't tell you what plants grow best. All right. In your area. You got to listen to your community. All right. Get with the community. Again, these plants are getting ready to go outside. All right. So because you see how large they're growing, the plan was for them to grow 19 inches tall. All right. So because I started with the plan, I automatically knew how long it would take me to grow these plants in order to put them outside. Your indoor garden is flourishing. I remember when you posted a video bringing them indoors. See, exactly. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because I'm here to tell people in my gardening class, people would always leave the gardening class. They would get discouraged. They would quit because they did not understand the environment, right? So they'll come to class or they'll come to the meeting and they'll be like, well, I learned from this person, all right, some video that they saw that they learned from this person and this person gave them that advice, right? Or just necessarily not wanting to do the work. All right. These shop lights, I keep preaching to you guys. These are shop lights. All right. These are not your standard grow light, like this grow tent light right here. This was made specifically for plants. These were made for shops. All right. However, once we understand again the 3 things that a seed needs in order to germinate and the 3 things that a plant needs in order to grow, look at the environment, okay? You see how green it is? Green, green, green. Now, not only do you see green, let me show you. We see fruit, okay? We have fruit growing on them. Now, these are getting too small. These these containers. So I'm having to water more. All right. So that's what you're seeing. This is why this is shriveling. So I have to water. I just watered this 2 days ago. All right. Now I have to water more, water them again. So that's what I came down here for. But I am here to encourage you. All right. Look, you'll see the little, they do grow. All right. I only use one fertilizer, maybe two. All right. Well, three, I guess, if you include coffee grounds. I use bone meal and I use blood meal. All right. And I rarely use blood meal, to be honest, because, my soil already has nitrogen in it. And I only add nitrogen to things like tomatoes. All right. Or my cucumbers or something like that. So I'm here to tell you, okay, don't listen to these people. I agree. You will overspend. Everything you need to grow food is free. I learned the hard way. No synthetic fertilizer, no store-bought soil. Exactly. I used to spend, I remember when I first started gardening and I tried to have an indoor tent, right? Not try. I did have an indoor tent. I gotta post that video one day. And so in this indoor tent, y'all, I'm growing in a 825 square foot apartment, but the tent was placed in my room. Okay. So I did not understand the humidity levels, or I didn't understand the things that plants need. And so I would go out and I would watch a bunch of YouTube videos and I would listen to these people and they would tell me to buy all of these things. And guess what? At the end of the growing season, I didn't have anything. My plants kept dying. All right. And so I said, no, I can't keep doing this. And I'm talking about, I used to spend like $500-$600 trying to get the perfect setup, trying to get all of the supplies, trying to get all the soil that they recommend. I know I can't keep up with these people. Okay. So I just was like, when I brought this house, I was like, I'm not doing this no more. And so I just decided I was going to use what I had on this land. And that's what I did. Hi, welcome in, everybody. We're talking about the importance of not listening to everybody and getting with the community to help you understand what plants grow best in your environments. All right. Don't be like I was, watching all of these YouTube videos, getting all of this recommendation, spending all this money and not having a harvest. All right. You can be successful. This is an indoor grow, so there's no excuse. There's really no excuse, guys. If you don't have outdoor space, look at this. Look at this room. This was my office, okay? This was my office. I converted my office into an indoor grow room. All right? And I'm here to tell you that you can do it. And guess what? Not only can you do it, you can produce a fruit. Okay? This is ginger right here. You see how the ginger, or is this turmeric? Let's see, what is that? Yeah, what is that? Is that turmeric or ginger? That's ginger. See, I gotta put some more soil on top of that. But yeah. Do not listen to these people. They will give you all of this advice because they're trying to sell something or just get views or whatever. And I love you guys too much, all right, to see you waste your time and your money and your energy. The 3 things that a plant needs in order to grow is water, sunlight, and air. Keep those 3 things in mind. Water, sunlight, and air. That is what a plant needs in order to grow. Okay. So when you notice that your plants are starting to shrivel or they're starting to turn colors, it's 2 things. One, the spacing of the container, right? And the watering. Okay. So as these plants begin to grow, these plants are almost about, they're probably like 19 inches now because it's time to put them outside. Hold on, what'd she say? How did you get the gnats and bugs out? I tried, and oh boy, I had a war with fungus, gnats, and mosquitoes. Yeah, that's normal. So a lot of let me answer the question first. This right here, rosemary. All right, rosemary is a pest deterrent. So when you grow rosemary, plant rosemary kind of throughout your area, and it'll deter the gnats and all of that. As you can see, you don't see any gnats. I had gnats at first. So in here I had gnats and I'm like, oh no, I got to get rid of these. So I actually didn't grow that from seed. So I didn't grow the rosemary from seed. I went to my local store and I brought you know, like the rosemary plants that they have like in Walmart or some supermarkets. I just got that, put it in a pot and regrew it. And that was it. So yeah. And you might see one or two, you know, and also your watering levels. So if your soil is very soggy, it's going to draw the gnats. So you don't want your soil to be very soaked and wet, you know. You kind of want to, that's why I don't water. And it's just kind of a rule of thumb. Like, I only water, like, when I start to see my plants look like this, that's the only time that I'll start to water them. Like, I won't let them get too, I won't let the soil get too wet. I like to let the soil dry out some. Because it's easier to bring a plant back to life than it is to get the water out of the soil. You would have to transplant the whole plant. So like I said, you'll see one or two. You see that little one? And you see I don't have the rosemary over here. So if I move the rosemary over here, it'll get rid of them. But I'm not really too concerned about that because the soil will dry it. I mean, the fan will dry it out in a second. But this over here, where they love turmeric and ginger, nah, I had to put the rosemary there. So I was like, I had to make a sacrifice. So yeah, this is your garden, guys. Let me give y'all a full picture, full view. Okay. Oh, I forgot to turn on this light down here. So I even have some stuff growing down here too as well. You can see, being realistic, you see one of my plants is struggling right here. So let's see. And the soil is moist. So I'm thinking that, let me see, that the temperature is inconsistent. So I got a heating mat. Let me try this. So yeah, I'm giving y'all some little practical tips, right? So I got a heating mat. I went to this is what you want to spend your money on. Spend your money on things that will actually help you along with the process, like the environment, right? So we know that fruit trees grow best in hot weather. So I need to help create that environment for it. So I brought a heating mat. Okay. Now we're going to watch this over the next few days and see what happens. But as you can see, I got my ginger growing back there. I got another one that just came up. Those two back there are growing. Give me a second, guys. I need to take this off. Alrighty. And so also you need to invest in, this is for growing indoors. I'm going to take y'all tomorrow. I'm almost done with the container gardens outside. So you guys know I'm growing 5 different ways. And so the container garden that I have outside, hold on, let's see. Is it on? It's on. All right, so we're going to watch this come back to life. It's not dead yet. It's just that the temperature is just inconsistent. So you can feel it. It feels kind of brittle. And the soil temperature is good. I mean, the soil is wet, moist. Yep. So we're going to let that come back to life. But however, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, guys? Spend your money on things that will help you. Do not overspend on soil. All right? Because people tell you to buy soil. They tell you to buy fertilizer. They tell you to buy all of these things. When naturally, if you're buying soil, it has fertilizer in there. I mean, it has the nutrients in there. So why are we spending more money to buy fertilizer? All right? So those are things to keep in mind. You see, I have snails in there. All right? So, or roly-polies, as I call them. Let me back this up some. All right. And you see, that's just a simple light. Okay. That's another shop light. Let me back up so you guys can see it better. So this is how it looks. So I'm growing plants under here. This was a $20 table. How much did I pay for this? This was $4. Okay. So 4 plus 20. Actually, I didn't pay nothing for this. My brother-in-law gave me this free. All right. So what else do I have in here that was paid? All of these containers right here are recycled. All right, except for these, and I caught these for $5. So these containers were $5 right here. These seeds that you see, or the plants that you see, I've had these seeds for about 3 growing seasons now. So I don't buy seeds. Plus, I'm a licensed seed dealer anyway. But I don't buy seeds. I regrow a lot of the food that I eat. So these avocados were regrown. All right. Um, what else do I have in here? You see the bottles right here. Okay, these bottles are recycled. All right, these plastics I've had for about 5 years. Okay, this right here I got on sale for like 50 cents. That's my sugar cane. So I'm growing sugar cane, and I'm growing my own line of sugar cane, so that way I can have it for the rest of my life. My children's children can have it, etc. All right. So these are ways, and these fans, I invested in the fan. My brother gave me this Marsh Hydro tent. All right. This is what I'm talking about, community. Okay. You get a community, right? And you'll get all of the things that you need. You do not have to spend all of this money. All right. Do not listen to people when they tell you to buy all of that soil, to giving you recommendations on fertilizers. Man, stop wasting y'all time. All right. What are the 3 things that a seed needs in order to germinate? I want y'all to keep this in mind. Okay. This is very important. The 3 things that a seed needs in order to germinate, and I'm going to say this every single live, every single video, every single post, every time I'm up here, is that a seed needs for germination water, air, and soil. It does not need sunlight, okay? So even for you to get started on your seeds, you got a tomato today, you got a pepper today, you got a cucumber today. You do not need to focus on getting your lights, all right? You got time to get lights. What else is to say? I have an indoor worm bin in a 5-gallon bucket with a hole for air on top. I feed it with shredded cardboard and food scraps. It is loaded with worms, but I'm not sure when to harvest. Okay, I have a worm bin. I got the worms out of my outdoor compost. Okay, what you mean by you're not sure when to harvest? Like, what you mean by that? Because I don't really know about worm bins, sis. I'm not going to lie. I got some worms out. So whenever I see worms inside of my soil, that's when I know that my soil is good. I got all the nutrients in there because worms go and they help to, they do something to the soil. I ain't about to sit up here and worm castings. Okay. So what are you saying? Like, what you mean? Like you, okay, I'm trying to follow you, sis. I'm sorry. Because I'm still stuck on the harvest. Like, are you growing food in the worm bin? Like, I'm sorry, sis. Clarify that for me. But again, the 3 things that a seed needs in order to germinate is water, air, and soil. And the 3 things that a plant needs in order to grow is water, air, and sunlight. Okay? If you know those 3 things, you will create every environment for your plants, the perfect environment, rather. Okay? So all of these plants in here grow at a temperature of about 70 degrees or higher. Oh, when it is ready to use, so I can use the worm castings. LOL, I brought the bin in September. Oh, okay, I'm following you now. I use it as soon as possible. So I know a lot of people, everybody grows differently, sis. That's what I was trying to explain. Like me, I actually, when I'm ready to use it, okay? So say like if I don't have some plants, like, okay, I harvested some, my okra plants, right? And I harvested them in like October. I cut them down. I kind of let them dry out a little bit and let the nutrients go back into the soil, and then I pull them up. By like April, okay, when I'm ready to plant the okra or new okra again, if the plants are not broken down all the way, that's fine. I'll still have some like juices and the worms at the bottom. I'll still go ahead and mix them in my potted soil. That's me. And If you go back and look at my page, that's what I do every single year. And I don't wait necessarily until it's all the way broken down. Why? Because it's going to draw the right, and this is for outdoors, not indoors. So for outdoors, I do that. I don't even bring, unless you can control like the worms, like you see, like the roly polies and stuff, those typically stay inside of the containers. But a lot of the other bugs, like the mosquitoes and stuff, you'll constantly be having to grow herbs. You'll constantly be having to rotate your plants. And when you mix them with the fresh compost, right? Because it still has to break down. So I don't suggest doing that indoors, just because of the pests that come with it. But again, this is me. You know, you might actually be able to come back to me and tell me, hey sis, I actually made an adjustment and I just put some herbs around there, and I did I controlled the temperature, lowered or increased the temperature or whatever it is, right? And I was able to use that fresh compost and new plants, but I just made sure that I planted some herbs first. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't let me sit up here and tell you that no, I'm not, I don't think that's a good idea, because that idea that you may think it might be a great idea, you're just going to have to put in the time. And it's kind of like what do you call it? A control basis. Like, you got to, what do you call it? Trial and error. It's just a trial and error situation. Okay, I understand. Thanks. So basically, the food scraps are not fully broken down in my worm bin as fertilizer. No, there is. So it is, but it isn't. It's like the same thing as having soil, right? And taking the food scraps and planting them in the soil. It's the same thing. It's going to draw the same exact pest. It's going to draw the same exact, it's going to create the same exact environment. The only problem is it might, depending on the type of plant you're growing, or the type of seed, or the type of plant you're growing, it might attack your plant. So it might start eating off your plants. So you can use it. I would not, me personally, like, I wouldn't mix it with things that, like squashes, for example. Like, I'm not going to mix it with my squash plants. I'm not going to mix it with my eggplants, because they like eggplant leaves. It's just kind of like, again, a trial and error situation. But the food scraps, I don't know if you know this, but you can actually put them in your soil with your plants that are growing. Like eggshells, for example, cucumbers, what else? Those are things that I could think of off the top of my head. But yeah, you don't have to wait. You can wait them 3-4 months. And if it's not fully broken down, go ahead and plant it. That's what I would do. That is what I do, actually. So I hope I'm answering your question, because I'm kind of like trying to think as I'm talking. What else? Let me see. This is dried out, so I'm trying to make sure that everything here. Oh, also, right? So remember, I was talking about the sunlight. We know that sunlight brings heat. So yes, these shop lights in here, they do bring heat, but not as much as I would like. So I have like this little heater I brought years ago, all right, and mixed with this fan, so it kind of draws the temperature, circulates the temperature in here. All right, so you just kind of got to play with it a little bit. You just kind of got to, figure out what works best for you. Yes, you did. Thanks, sis. Okay, sis. I'm glad. I'm glad, sis. Let me know how it worked out, though. For real. I'm curious to know what you end up doing. Let me know, okay? Because, if because that's one thing. If it's possible to use or start a worm bin indoors, that would be great. That would help so many people. Sorry, y'all. It's late. I've been working all day. I'm trying to make sure that I get everything. I'm just looking, right? I'm looking. So I think it's time to fertilize this right here. Oh, this is another suggestion, right? They tell me, okay, yeah, when you go to the store, you need to make sure that your soil has, um, your NPK levels are this, and this, right? So I stopped listening to people. I don't buy store bought soil anymore. Worst mistake I could have made. I do not buy store bought soil anymore. That was another thing that they would tell me, okay? Is the type of soil you need to have, and they give you all of these recommendations about soil, okay? None of it worked for me. None of it is for my environment, okay? So, yeah, guys, listen, you guys are going to, what I suggest every gardener, every farmer do is you're going to have to learn your environment. You can listen to others and they can give you advice on about what works, what has worked for them. But unless you are in your community and that advice is coming from people in your community, I do not suggest listening, okay, to somebody who lives in Maryland when you live in California. That's just not wise. Okay? I do not suggest listening to somebody who's in South Africa or Florida when you live in Michigan. Okay? It just does not work. All right? And then the type of seeds, okay? You can go to your government website, like the local schools of that area, and you can find out what seeds grow best within your state, within your region. All right, we just have to do some work. We just have to do a little bit of work for a greater return, okay? If I had listened to like look at this. I brought these these fertilizers, right? Just to show people, and I'll talk a lot more about this. I got some earthworm castings. This right here, what sis is talking about in the chat, this right here is nothing compared to actual live worms. If you can get live worms versus this, because look at this nitrogen is only like 1%. Okay? So imagine you growing things like tomatoes, and I'm not going to get too scientific into it, if that's the word for it. But yeah, it live and organic pest, or not even pest, but insects for the soil is much better than that store-bought stuff. All right? I wish somebody had told me that years ago before I started spending all of that money. All right? And I come from a family of farmers, but I didn't want to listen to them. I didn't want to listen to my family. All right? So let's see. It's about that time. It's time to fertilize these again. All right. I really have been trying to wait until I transplant them outside, but they're starting to grow. And I told you guys, months ago, that once they reached 19 inches, like you see here, can you see? You see they're starting to grow the peppers. Once they reach 19 inches, you know that it's time to transplant outside. So who says you can't grow food indoors? Tell them they're a liar. Tell them that's not the truth. All right? You can grow indoors just as well as you grow outdoors, okay? Yes, this tent right here is very expensive, okay? These tents are expensive. Thank God for my little brother, okay? But not everybody can afford this. Some people only have this, okay? This is just as efficient as this. Don't let nobody tell you that you got to have the right setup before you get started. No, you don't. Okay. What variety of peppers? I have a mixture. So I have jalapenos. Now, I don't know which one is which. All right. I'm not even about to sit up here and lie to y'all. I just know that all of these is peppers. All right. So I have some jalapenos. I have some habaneros. I have some wonder peppers, meaning that they probably is red or yellow or green. Who knows? And then I have some orange bells in here. So I didn't, I just waited until, I usually wait to see what they are. I'm not even gonna lie. So I really don't know which ones, but all five of those I just named, they're one of those. Your leaves look so green and healthy. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So the reason why these plants look very green is because I had to learn as a farmer, really, to prep the soil before you plant. That makes the most difference, okay? When you actually prepare the soil before you begin. All right? And I don't use all of those fertilizers, okay? Again, I only use blood meal and bone meal. Those right here that I brought, I got those from Walmart just to show people. But I don't even use them. I use the earthworm casting and I propagated this pear tree that I have from outside. And as you can see, look, it hasn't even broken down. It's been months. Like, I would never even use that. You know what I'm saying? And look at it. It's not even as strong as I would like it. So it really has no benefit to me at all. So I would never buy any of those store. But listen, they told me, that's what they told me to use in the soil. Then they told me to get peat moss and all of these other things and mix that in and no. Look, I'm not listening to them no more. Okay? Shout out to all of the YouTubers out there. Maybe they have some genuine wants, to help people grow their own food. I don't know. But I really believe, and I want us to stop in 2026 going forward telling people how to grow their own food. I want us to encourage people to plan, to learn about growing. All right? It is better to be informative than it is to be uninformative. Y'all get what I'm trying to say? It is better for you to just know. Just know. Just learn. Learn. This was what I did. I learned. Let me show y'all my great grandma. You see this lady right here? That's who taught me. Okay? That's who taught me to believe and trust in God and seek him first, and he will show you all the things. And a lot of the things that when it comes to growing my own food, that's one very important thing that I want to tell you guys before we close. I learned how to grow my own food from the Bible. I literally read the Bible, and the Bible talks a lot. It gives you so many scriptures about farming. It gives you so many scriptures about gardening. All right. We literally started in the garden. Okay. And so instead of listening to YouTubers, even me, don't take my word for it. All right. Don't take my word for it. Go and search for it yourself. You will see that what I'm telling you is the truth. All right. Go and read the Bible for yourself. Amen. All right. Read the Bible for yourself. You will learn all of these principles. What I told you, 3 things that a seed needs in order to germinate. All right. Water, air, and soil. 3 things that a plant needs in order to grow. Water, air, and sunlight. Who y'all think told me that? Amen. Who do you think told me that? The world didn't tell me that. Not one YouTube video told me how to grow my own food in that manner and made it that simple. It was the Holy Spirit who did that. All right. So I'm not out here to share anything outside of God's will. Okay. It is God who taught me. It is God who leads me. And it is God who has shared all of this information with me. All right. So I'm just here to share that with you today. All right. I don't have anything else for you tonight. I had to water these plants. Everything looks watered now. Oh, let me do this real quick. Alrighty. Let me do this before I get up. I have to get some more water. And I will do that tomorrow because I don't feel like doing that. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I don't feel like keep going in and out. And I know this probably looks dry too. Yeah. Well, it's not too bad. All right. Well, guys, that's it for tonight. All right. Do your research. Listen to the advice that I give you. I will post this video so you can go back and look at it. And just understand, you just got to do your own research. Okay. You got to know what's best for your home, for your environment. Right. Don't listen to people who don't live near you. Don't listen to people who don't grow in your environment. Okay. Listen to God. He'll never lead you astray. All right. Till tomorrow. Love you guys. Peace.